Yo, Snoop Dogg and D.I.
Hello and welcome to Villanova Tip Time. I'm your host, Chris Notaro, and happy Thanksgiving. Today we are here on November 23rd, Thanksgiving Day, ahead of a much anticipated rematch of the 2016 national title game between the Villanova Wildcats and the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. And today they're in a semifinal battle in the battle for Atlantis down in the Bahamas. Reminder that Villanova Tip Time is brought to you by Homefield Apparel as part of the Nova Insider Network. Promo code Nova Insider there. Really excited about what we saw from the Cats yesterday against Texas Tech. Really excited to see them continue their winning ways in the Bahamas at this tournament, which they've won twice before. You've seen a lot of folks around the program use the term business trip, including from your very own coach, Jay Wright, in response to the team's performance yesterday, and led by such senior leadership, not only in Justin Moore and Eric Dixon, but the transfers they brought in who are all later in their college careers. Really love how much of a business trip mentality the guys brought to the first round yesterday, and looking to see more of the same today as they come into a game with a lot of noise around it, right? Yours truly included. Everybody wants to point to the shot from 2016. Really awesome that we have those memories. But for the guys on the team today, they want to get it done today. They don't want to be looking into the past. They want to be kind of notching this as a really big resume opportunity for the Villanova Wildcats. So before we get into talking about today and introducing UNC and talking about the team, I want to do a little bit of a thankfulness roundup, being that it is Thanksgiving. And there's a ton to be thankful for around this Villanova program. I think just in no particular order, right? Justin Moore, I'm thankful that he's here. I'm thankful that he stayed. I'm thankful that we have 5 years. He got 5 years of him. I'm thankful that he was able to recover from an injury that can be catastrophic for some guys. And it looks like he's regaining his form, and we wish him the best. Obviously, not only this year for the Cats, but hopefully to have a long and successful professional career thereafter. Really thankful for Eric Dixon on this day, especially after the day he put up yesterday in the box score, but really just thankful for the person that he is and one of the leaders of this program, and the family that he carries with him, and sort of the important role that they play in kind of being one of the more recognizable, I would say, Villanova players' families out there right now, and just being such a force for positive good that they are in the community. Thankful for the transfers that fit right in. All of them, really, right? We've talked about the top transfer class, and all four guys we've talked about in some way, shape, or form. All four guys have started to play their way into the Nova Nation's hearts in a very positive way. So Tyler, TJ, Hakeem, and Lance, really thankful for those guys. Thankful for Mark Armstrong, one of the most promising young guards in the country. Thankful that Jordan Longino is back looking healthy and in the form that all the Cats fans want to see him in. And of course, thankful for the Armadillo Assassin lighting it up from all over the floor. I've named most of the guys on the team. I'm going to kind of move on to the coaching staff there. Coach Neptune stands tough in the face of a lot of criticism. Did a really good job, all things considered, in the offseason. And yesterday maybe put together one of his better coaching performances we've seen. So really thankful to have him at the helm. Shout out, happy birthday, Director of Operations Joe Flannery. I'm also personally very thankful for assistant coach Dwayne Anderson, not only because of his contributions to the team and what a fantastic recruiter he'd become, but he's also a fellow member of the Villanova class of 09. And I remember him fondly as somebody who was always very kind to me at a time in my life when I really needed it the most. I'm thankful for the guys at the Nova Insider Network, guys and girls, right? So old friends, Chris and Rob, that super supportive of me and Villanova Tip Time when I launched this show almost 3-4 years ago now. This is season 4 for us. Really appreciative of Chris and Rob, and kind of the, sort of inviting me in and helping to, helping to promote this show when honestly very few people were watching. Thankful for new friends, Willie and Trevor, guys over there co-hosting the show with Chris these days. Really appreciated the kind of the friendships I've developed with those guys. And behind the scenes, you've got Brian and Rachel supporting them and supporting the Nova Insider Network as a whole as it's come together. Of course, got to shout out my guy, Tommy G. Thankful for him and his new program, the Mainline Minute, and just thankful to, have kind of built a friendship with somebody that I've still actually never met in person, which is kind of crazy, because he's become someone I talk to very regularly throughout the week, very regularly throughout games, and really appreciative of him. And lastly, in this kind of thankfulness roundup, other content producers out there that have gone out of their way to support my program in some way, shape, or form. And they're producing pretty good content themselves generally. So start with State of the Nova Nation pod, Pat and Emma. Again, appreciative of the friendships I've developed with them. The fellas over at the Attitude Podcast and Nova Starting Five. I've never had to ask them to help promote the pregame show, yet somehow they're always doing it, and I really appreciate that. And same goes for Alan Ray and Rain and Threes, which is one of the great new content additions to the Villanova sphere. Alan's been supportive in promoting the pregame show at times as well, and really liking the content that they're cranking out. Also got to give a shout out to our guy VU Hoops. I want to say co-founder of VU Hoops, Chris Lane, fellow 09 guy who's been on the program, and I also consider a friend. So, and of course, I can't believe I almost missed him. Thankful for my wife and my son. My wife is a full-time practicing doctor. I'm an owner and operator of a small business. It's not easy to run an independently produced pregame show, and I think my wife and my kids sometimes suffer the brunt of that. Read the Maryland game on Friday night when I'm doing it from a hotel room when we're, supposed to be on vacation. So just so appreciative of them and really just all the love that surrounds this Villanova basketball community. I think it's so easy for us to get focused on the technical ins and outs of what's going on in the court. It's important to take a step back and think about how unbelievable it is that we get to be part of this community, this small school that has just put itself on the map at the elite mountaintop of college basketball. It's really hard not to be grateful for that and grateful to be able to participate in that. So I'll get out of my feels now, just feeling good on this Thanksgiving, wanting to bring the good vibes. I hope more than anything that we get to enjoy a great basketball game here and that you get to enjoy time with your families and your friends and your loved one. You get to eat some good food and you get to drink some good drinks and you get to have some laughs and that it's a good day for all. So Battle for Atlantis recap so far. Later on, you'll see Memphis and number 20 Arkansas play at the bottom of the bracket. The winner of that game will move on to the final game to play the winner of this Villanova UNC game here. And so like we talked about a little bit yesterday in pregame and a little bit on the postgame spaces, Villanova's got an opportunity here to notch some serious resume action. You never want to look past the game at hand. So we've got number 14 UNC today, but you've got a potential additional ranked matchup tomorrow. Again, don't want to look too far ahead, but a really golden opportunity for the Cats here to cement a strong non-con resume. And I think they did that yesterday in their very convincing win over Texas Tech. Now, the final score, I think, was a little bit more lopsided than the game would indicate. Really, this was a game down to probably, let's say, until there was about 5 or 6 minutes left when the Cats really started to pull away. At some point around the midway point of the second half, so we'll say somewhere between 10 and 12 minutes left in the second half, Texas Tech went on an 8-0 run. The Cats looked like they were pulling away. They were up like 12 or 13. And then all of a sudden, boom, Texas Tech goes on an 8-0 run. And I think everybody, myself included, is kind of like, uh-oh. Not good, especially, coming off of the game against Maryland where the Cats were up 30, only ended up winning by 17. One of the things I said on pregame yesterday was, let's not judge them on that, because when you get up 30, sometimes you kind of go into that mercy rule mindset. Let's judge them on the next time that they get up and they have to play with a lead. And I really like what I saw because they took the punch, they took the 8-0 run, and then they landed counterpunch after counterpunch to get that lead right back up into the teens and then ultimately pull away into a box score that looked like a blowout win. So really, really good action, which we saw from the Cats yesterday, led by a beautiful Eric Dixon and Justin Moore game. We got 19 points and 6 boards for Dixon. 3 steals to go along with them. You like that popping out on the box score at you. And then Justin Moore had 18 points and 6 boards to go along with 5 assists and 2 steals of his own. So a tremendous game for our leaders, one that we really needed to see, one that we would like to see replicate many times over, because I think that's going to be a winning formula for Nova if and when you've got both of those guys going. But beyond them, you also had strong contributions from all around them. If you pull up, I suggest you pull up the box score and just take a look through. Everybody was able to contribute in their own way. Some other things that jumped out to me were TJ Bamba continuing his tenacious ways and playing his way into Nova fans' hearts. Just yesterday, I was talking about Tyler Burton as kind of a standout transfer, and TJ Bamba has a couple times over the last few games sort of said, "Hold my beer, let me cook," and he's looked really awesome. He's looked like a great fit. He looks like a guy that we're going to be excited about all season. And then Jordan Longino hit a couple of really timely shots, had a couple of really strong takes to the lane yesterday, and he's stepping up into that form that I think we saw originally from him. And then he took kind of a little bit, I don't want to say a step back, because he was fighting injuries, and I don't think he was really himself for a while over the last 2 seasons. But now it looks like he's healthy, and he's kind of going to be able to play this secondary role here. He, maybe not a tier 1 option for the team, but a tier 2 option, especially when the team needs an important bucket. He's been there. So love to see that. So today, what do we got going on? Well, we're playing North Carolina. And if you've checked in on Twitter at all in the last, 24 hours, you've seen a lot of posts about the shot, the 2016 national championship game, and what a special thing that is for all of us in the Nova Nation. One of the things I missed to probably say I'm thankful about is I'm thankful that once upon a time we got to see what would be a generational shot from Marcus Page, followed up by the all-time greatest shot from Chris Jenkins. And we carry that history with us in today's game. But like I said at the top of the show, I think for the guys on the court today, you don't necessarily want to put that weight on them. You want them to be focused on today. You want to be looking forward and kind of what we can do this season and against the UNC team that comes in ranked number 14. So kind of an interesting balance there. I saw a tweet from Daniel Ashefu saying, "Hey, yeah, get them in, get your references in, but let's focus on today." And I kind of like that message. So guys to know from UNC, I think one of the best bigs in the country here in Armando Bacot. It's a name you probably recognize as he's a very well-accomplished player. Comes in averaging 19 points and 12 boards a game. He, frankly, he's going to be a problem. And the opportunity for Villanova is maybe that we see more of that Lance Ware, Eric Dixon lineup at the 5-4 to sort of combat the big style of play that UNC has through Armando Bacot down low. Other guys to know are going to be your forward Harrison Ingram, averaging 13 points, 7.5 boards a game, and guard RJ Davis, averaging 14 a game. But even though UNC comes in ranked formidably at number 14, this isn't necessarily one of the scariest teams that UNC has had in a while. They're not overly multidimensional, I would say. All roads really run through Bacot and Ingram, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Cats key in on that in on defense. Like I said, I think one of the big things I'm personally looking forward to is seeing more of that Ware and Dixon lineup on the floor today at the 5 and the 4 positions respectively. The Big East is not without its own list of really impressive big men. So I think this is a good non-conference test to see how the lineup is going to kind of handle this sort of a matchup. And, we'll get plenty more cracks at good bigs throughout the season. So, yeah, I think that about brings us down to game time here in 2 minutes. They got the ovens all going up here. We've got our meal time set around, I think we're going to do it probably around 4 or 4:30. So right towards the end of the game here. And just excited to have this Cats game going on in the middle of Thanksgiving Day. You got football on, you got the Cats on, you got your families all around. It's a good day. There's nothing to complain about. So for now, I want you to find your favorite spot on the couch. You got to get your TVs flipped over to ESPN, get your beverages refilled. A very happy Thanksgiving. I hope I see you tomorrow ahead of a Battle for Atlantis championship game, but looking forward to seeing the Cats hopefully take care of business here. And ladies and gentlemen, it's tip time.